Coming up next, I'm giving y'all this prison story about a short king who came into the prison on very bad charges and denied it all. Stay tuned to the Jersey Street Corner Prison Talk Show.
His JS corner from the prison story massacres. I be telling stories about the pushers and the traffickers, trying to keep the YNs away from the bandits. Don't eat the honey bun, don't drink the coke, don't become another victim or the butt of a joke. Don't close both eyes when you sleep or get choked. When you go to the mess hall, sit with your team, cause if you sit with some punk boy, you can get seen. Then you
Come on, y'all, chill out. Come on, man. I didn't know. Look at me, man. Look how small I am. I didn't go there for that. I didn't do what them people said I did, man. Come on, you got to believe me. Listen, my name is Josh. Do I look like I would do something like that? Please, put me down. Put me down. Finish him. Your soul is mine. Flawless victory. What up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. So let's get into it. Now, today, I'm bringing y'all another one, y'all. Another inmate with bad charges. Now, for all of my newcomers and people that might not know what bad charges are, we're going to break it down. It's not going to take long for those of y'all that do know, but let me break it down. Bad charges constitute as any crime involving a female or a child where one of the two gets hurt by a man. Now, let me break that down. Because I know a lot of y'all knuckleheads like, well, there's a lot of girls that do crimes and this and that, and they be involved. Nah, y'all know what I mean. Stop playing games. Bad charges mean you hitting a female, you taking something from a female that they ain't want took, or you do the same thing with a child, whether it be female or male. Children are off the table, period. That's where you get considered a chomo, and that's where you have super bad charges. Now, super bad charges come with super penalties, y'all. Not only do the court of law hand down strict justice for chomos, but when you hit the prison, a chomo is not allowed to live. And that's whatever prison they go to. They had to build special prisons just for chomos. At least they did in New Jersey. But there are certain prisons that you can go to where only chomos are allowed. Now, if you got regular bad charges, like let's say you beat your girl up or your wife or something like that, or one of your female friends or cousins or something like that, yeah, you know, they gonna take it easy on you. You gonna get your ass whooped once everybody find out. You gonna get your ass whooped because that's just the way prison goes. Everybody in prison gotta prove they bigger and badder than the next man. I ain't putting up with that. I ain't dealing with that. We ain't gonna have no women beaters around here. Nah, you can't live over here, homie. You gonna have to get that fade. You gonna have to get that fade if you wanna live up in here. Now, mind you, after they whoop your ass, they might hear you out. Y'all don't understand, man. She was cheating on me with like 5 dudes. That's why I hit her. Dang, y'all ain't had to do all this. Look at my face. And they like, oh, dang. Well, yeah, you know, my bad. But, hey, man, the rules are the rules. No women beaters. Hey, you can live up in here now that you got that fade in. But, you know, just make sure when you go home, you don't do the same thing and end up back here for the same thing, because, you know, we're going to have to do the same thing again. So, bad charges can take you very, very different places in your prison bid. Now, mind you, depending on how bad your charges are, depends on how long you're going to be in prison. Sometimes it's only a few months. You know, you might get a quick 6 or 8 months. You gotta do for domestic violence or something like that. But then, when it gets to the super bad charges where you violate, oh, people, when you violate, that means whether it be a text message or physically, when you violate the laws. And mind you, text messaging a minor is a federal crime, people. You will be prosecuted to the full extent. So there is no leeway. There is no, I didn't do it. I don't know who did it. Nah, use a chomo and the feds know it. And they coming. They coming for you. Oh, they coming for you. Don't think those phones are safe. Those phones are just a glory hole for the feds. Yeah, y'all heard me. Y'all go ahead and analyze that yourself. Now that y'all know a little bit more about bad charges, we gonna get into this story. The guy y'all see in the thumbnail, oh, that's Josh. And Josh, well, he thought he was meeting up with an underage female. He knew it. Had crazy chat messages and this and that. And well, he was another idiot caught up in one of those stings. And those sting operations will ruin your life. Now, I know y'all wondering, why you call him a short king? Well, Josh was about 4'11". Yeah. And he wasn't a little person. He was just a short king. That was just his genes. It was in his blood. I don't know. Now, when you come into prison on bad charges, chances are the correctional officers are going to know your charges and a lot about your whole case. And you can best believe they are going to let somebody know. Now, I know y'all they supposed to be there to protect y'all and make sure y'all safe. Listen, that's what the job front is. But for real, a lot of these COs are like the judge and jury. They take it upon themselves to make sure the proper justice is issued. Now, I know a lot of y'all might not believe me, but this is the way it goes, people. When you come into the prison, you go from one set of officers to another set, to another set. They keep handing you off until you end up in the pod that you're going to be in. Each one of those handoffs, they are secretly given information what direction you should head. Population, CPOD, lockup. Now, when they decide, you know what? I can make some money off of this inmate, because that's what it's all about, people. In the prison, the correctional officers make money off of inmates with bad charges. How many favors do you think certain inmates owe this CO? So, when you see a CO that ain't scared to walk the block, he can walk the block with his eyes closed and nobody gonna touch him. You know why? Because he got people on the inside of that block that got his back. They ain't gonna let nobody do nothing to him, because he's the one that's making things pop on the pod. Yeah, it's a tit for tat. So, if a correctional officer feel a certain way about somebody that might have shot one of their homies in the streets, one of their officers, or that's a popular one, officers are going to give up cop unalivers in a minute. Yeah. They going to make sure somebody's really happy to make you really unhappy. I can't get too much into it, y'all. It's a lot of illegal activity that I'm talking about that goes down in the prison. And it's not all just at the inmates' hands. Remember, people, the inmates have limited capabilities. The inmates actually can't do very much without the right correctional officer turning his head or bringing a package in. So don't be so quick to judge and blame the inmates and call them animals and goons and this and that. They are products of their environment, but they do not rule their environment. They don't have those keys on their hips, y'all. They can't just come in and out of there as they please. So miss me with that. Alright? Now, one thing that Josh is going to learn is that prison is not a loving place. Nobody cares if you're short. Nobody cares if you're stupid. So you come up in there and the first person that asks you to see your paperwork, you hand it over like a dummy. You ain't even put up a struggle. That was your first mistake, Josh. When people started to see Josh's charges, not only was he a big joke in the pod, but he had a beatdown coming. Sure or not, Josh had a beatdown coming. And possibly something else, depending on who got a hold of him. Well, I already knew how this would end up. Even though Josh was 4'11", he had to answer for those charges. Now, even though Josh didn't physically do anything, all Josh did was send vulgar text messages to a minor. But y'all gotta understand, people, the intent is enough. If you were willing to send those messages and then actually show up at the Sting house for the meet and greet with prophylactics in your book bag, then you, sir, must face this prison justice. Don't nobody want to hear about you can't take it and you don't know why you here and you scared. Nah, tell that to somebody else. Listen, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but when I say they pummeled him in the back, they dragged him in back and literally pummeled him. The whole way there while he's getting dragged, somebody's kicking him in the face while they're dragging him. Bow, bow. Shut up. They get him back there to the back of the bathroom and start hitting him with so many body shots. I don't know if his ribs got caved in, his lungs, what. He was gasping and heaving. And they left him there. And they just walked away. Now, I'm saying they because I'm not a snitch and I'm not going to tell exactly who did it. It was some of my homies, but I'm not going to say who did it. I'm not about that life. And that's on camera. I ain't no snitch. Now, this next part that happened to Josh was totally off script, unexpected, and, well, I guess that's just the way things happen in prison sometimes. Josh hit the gate. And we all think they took Josh. Y'all know. Y'all already know. They took Josh on over to C Block. Because that's PC, y'all. And he's supposed to be safe there. But nah. Nobody is actually safe on PC. Because the police believe that, well, it's protective custody. So they ain't gonna hurt each other. They don't monitor and watch them as often as they should. When in fact, the most demonic things go down on C-Pod. Now, when Josh got to C-Pod, he quickly saw the vibe. He saw a couple of boys running around. He saw, a couple of big guys walking around the pod, with their muscles walking in front of them. Immediately, Josh knew he wasn't safe. And he was scared. He was scared shitless, y'all. But Josh didn't know what to do. So he just went on down to the cell that they put him in, y'all. And when they put him in that cell, supposedly, he was alone. You know, he was by himself. There was no other cellmate in that cell. But I guess that was on purpose. They do that supposedly to a lot of the new inmates on CPOD. First, they trick you and tell you that it's, protective custody. Nah, it's just custody. CPOD. And you going over there with the bandits. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button. And if possible, hype this video, man. Subscribe to the page. And tell a friend to tell a friend your boy Jay Corner got that fire. Don't forget to subscribe to my new channel at Animated Prison Stories. I'm going to be telling y'all some animated prison stories that y'all not gonna believe. Stay tuned, people. Now, from my understanding, when Josh entered his cell in CPOD, he saw 5 honey buns on his bed. Now, right away, anyone with any common sense would move all of those honey buns and put them on the table or whatever, or even go out there and turn up and ask, "Hey, who trying to play me?" Josh didn't think nothing of it. What Josh did was took them, put them in his locker, and he kept one, and he got in the bunk, and he cracked it open and started to eat it. He didn't think nothing of the myth that if somebody leaves something on your bed, you don't touch it. Well, I'm here to let y'all know, people, that is not a myth. If you find something on your bed, especially a sugary treat, you don't touch it. You don't touch it, because that means a bandit is courting you. And if you eat that honey bun or whatever they leave on your bed, you owe them. And I know some of y'all like, that don't make sense though. It was on my bed. I ain't go ask them for it. Nah, you don't make sense. Prison don't make sense. So I'm telling you, don't eat the honey bun. Don't drink the Coke. Don't become another victim or the butt of a joke. You heard? It's that simple. Prison don't make sense. Now, shortly after he stashed those honey buns and consumed the one, well, he got a knock on his door. And they was respectful. They ain't just barge in. They knocked on the door. From what I'm told, excuse me, y'all, it was 5 of them. 5 honey buns, 5 bandits. And when they piled up in that cell, these guys completely blocked the doorway. They didn't need a white sheet. They completely blocked the doorway with their bodies. That's how big they were. Now, you could already imagine who got first dibs on CPOD. None other than the usual suspects, y'all. The Punisher, Booty Bama Bang Bang, the Finisher, C4, Big Gene, yeah, they was all up in there. And Harry oh my, he got the short end of the stick. He had to stand watch outside of the cell. But he knew his turn would come one day. He knew that his turn was coming. And he was down to wait. So he played his position and he stood guard. Now, I would like to explain to y'all exactly what went down in that cell with this little guy, this short king, this 4'11" chomo. But unfortunately, y'all, I only have the stories that I'm told on this incident. Yes, all 5 of them did take advantage of Josh in that cell. Unfortunately, I can't explain how they took advantage of him. I don't know what they did to him in that cell, but it was conclusive. Josh got his manhood took that night. Multiple times. And yeah, it was 5 of them, but I heard he had it took at least 10 times. So y'all figure that out. I don't know if they went 2 times apiece. I don't know if somebody went 4 times. I don't know what the deal was. But supposedly, when he left that cell, he was a mess. And he went right to the shower. That is, once he was able to walk. But yeah. From what my sources are telling me, this guy, he was demolished. Not even the pimps wanted to employ him in prison. Now that's bad when you can't get a pimp to employ you in prison. That means you done been ran through. I mean ran through, and ain't nobody paying for that. So, that's a different side of the prison, y'all. A dark side of the prison. That most people won't talk about, most people won't tell you about, but it does exist. And it's right there in front of you. You can't miss it. You can't overlook it. You can't not think it, not see it. You know what's going on, and it's up to you to either turn your head and look the other way, or, well, sometimes you gotta just hand out that prison justice. So if you don't like what somebody is doing in the prison, and you think you big, and you think you bad, well, test your might, like they say in Mortal Kombat, and finish him. You don't like what this guy is doing to that guy? Well, stab him in the neck. Beat him down. Do something about it. Otherwise, keep your damn mouth shut. This is prison. And the only way you survive is by staying loyal to yourself. That means don't do nothing stupid that's going to cause yourself bodily harm. And minding other people's business will cause you bodily harm. You see something going down, you turn your head. That's the correct answer every time, y'all. Don't let nobody get you tripping. If you ain't never been to prison, keep it that way. If you're on your way to prison, listen to your boy Corner when I tell y'all to follow the rules. Don't be scared, YN. Don't be scared. Follow the rules, and you're going to be all right. Listen, this was just a quick story about another chomo, another offender that got prison justice. And there will be plenty more stories about these chomos, because before they hit C block, they gotta hit my block. Alright, y'all, look. This was the Jersey Street Corner Prison Talk Show. I am your boy, Jersey Street Corner, and I'm out. Corner.
Hisaya's Corner from the prison story massacres. I be telling stories about the pushers and the traffickers, trying to keep the YNs away from the bandits. Don't eat the honey bun, don't drink the coke, don't become another victim or the butt of a joke. Don't close both eyes when you sleep or get choked. When you go to the mess hall, sit with your team, cause if you sit with some punk boy, you You can get seen, then you can get dealt with. Prison justice like you never felt it. I be taking y'all back to stories of the helpless. That lava I spit, get your boys' stories melted. I spit about prison justice cause I dealt it. And you a real hater if you can't respect it. All that bullshit, yeah, I'm here to check that. Any confrontation, I'ma show up. Bet that. You a real hater, I'm here to address that. When it comes to storytelling, I'm the best at. You a real hater, I'm here to address that. When it comes to storytelling, I'm the best at.